Well, hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, friends. For me, it's time to inhale that new star smell. For all of us, it's time to enjoy that incredibly forming tale that is Babylon 5. And today we'll be specifically watching Season 1, Episode 8, wait for it, And the Sky Full of Stars. These titles are magic, my friends. One other thing before we get started, I have now seen The Gathering, so thank you all for telling me about it. All of the events of The Gathering have been recorded as best they can be in my Swiss cheese brain, but boy, oh boy, a lot of information in The Gathering. I am so glad you all told me about it. Available over on Patreon at the free tier, full length if you want to go over and check it out. Friends, before we get started, if you could do me a huge favor, hit that like button, smash that subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. It greatly helps out a small channel and it allows me to alert you next time it's time for Babylon 5. And of course, if there's anything that we do that you would like early or in its full-length format, the aforementioned Patreon link is in the description. Not a fan of Patreon. Stick with us here on YouTube memberships. You'll get all of our episodes about a day early, plus any bonus episodes we come up with. But my dear friends, all that is then and this is now, and now it's time to return once more to Babylon 5 as we watch Season 1, Episode 8, And the Sky Full of Stars. Prepare to engage maximum warp reaction. And away we go!
Identicard, please.
My name is Evil. This episode's Evil. Oh, I know my man. I never watched it, but wasn't he from V?
Benson, Dex wants his money. It's coming. 24 hours, Benson. Then we find you again. Then we cut your head off.
Jesus. That guy sort of looks like, I know it's not the actor, but he sort of looks like Biff from Back to the Future.
I've identified the target.
Sinclair.
When do we take him out?
Soon.
I know the guy on the right from somewhere too.
It was the dawn of the third age of mankind.
2258, Babylon 5. I want to know more what I learned about in The Gathering, Babylon 4, that went online. We're in the credits, by the way. Went online, and then less than 24 hours later, vanished. That's a story beat. That's a story beat. They kind of like dropped that. The Gathering's like, oh yeah, Babylon 4 disappeared 24 hours after. Anyway, Babylon 5. And I'm like, back up? Wait, what?
The name of the place is
Babylon 5. I get chills now. I'm so excited about this show. This is one of those things, much like Star Trek, the original series, that like I knew about Babylon 5, you know? I just chose not to explore that knowledge. But there's a time and place for everything. And in this season of my life, apparently that is the late fall, early winter. Is time for me to become a better sci-fi fan. Thank you all for joining me. Cool ship. Night 2. Night 1. What?
Mr. Benson, you haven't been with us very long, have you?
6 months, sir.
When you signed on, were you informed of the regulations about use of the casino by station personnel?
Oh, he's got gambling debts.
Off-duty gambling is limited to 50 credits per week.
We hear you've been exceeding those limits, Mr. Benson.
That's not true, sir. You can check the casino records.
I remember this guy.
We both know a lot of unregistered side betting goes on.
He's the guy that fought Kevin Bacon in Footloose.
If you were to get into debt with the wrong people, you'd become a security risk. You could be compromised, blackmailed.
Yes, sir.
Punched in the stomach. Threatened with beheading.
Now I'm giving you one last chance. If you have anything to tell us, I suggest you do so.
So he didn't lie, he just refused to tell the truth.
He's lying.
No shit.
Everyone lies, Michael. The innocent lie because they don't want to be blamed for something they didn't do. And the guilty lie because they don't have any other choice. Find out why he's lying.
I am growing to really like Sinclair. Ident card required. I can't. Secure area. Something operations. Station operation.
Excellent.
Sick or physical?
Chance to examine one of your people in prime condition gives me a baseline to operate from.
Nice. That's a cool.
Is it true that you used to, what is the term, hitchhike on starships?
Yes, yes.
Really?
Naturally, all that ended when the war started.
Were you involved in the war, Doctor?
He's a hitchhiker to the galaxy.
Those of us in xenobiology were told to hand over our notes on your people to be used in genetic and...
Biological warfare. Last case scenario.
I destroyed my notes rather than have them used for killing.
Thank you.
The guilty lie because they have no choice. That's all I'm thinking about now.
You do during the war.
A topic for another time.
You may share, but I will not.
Look, I don't know what this is all about, and I don't want to know. I just want my money.
Credits will be deposited to your account within the hour. That'll be all.
Okay. Look at this contraption.
I think we're ready to proceed.
With what? Night 1 or night 2? And knights of what? Like knights of some group?
Hold the line. No one gets through, no matter what.
Understood. Alpha Leader, you have a Membari on your tail.
Oh, I never saw the Minbari craft.
Oh my God. It's a trap. Mitchell!
Yeah. Sinclair, I mean, every time they mention you were on the line, and he says, yes, people like look in horror at that. So I can only assume it was the worst of the worst. Not to mention, my man's got, what, a day that he doesn't know about? Something passed in front of his craft, we found out in the gathering, and then he was out.
Singular to maintenance.
Yeah, they're after you, Jeff. They're going to lure you out.
Observation. Security.
Have they jammed, like, him completely? Is he even awake? Yeah, something's up. They either have him in some type of, like, altered state, or he never woke up. Susan's there. What's up?
Earth Central, this is Babylon 5. Earth Central, please respond.
Jesus, Jeff.
Computer. Computer.
Oh, not even the computer, eh?
Online.
Oh, never mind.
Was an evacuation order to the last 8 hours?
Negative. Condition green.
Where is everyone?
Confirmed. One other life form detected.
Location.
Central corridor, blue sector.
Arm up, Jeff. I know this is all probably illusory or in your mind, but let's cover all of our bases.
Maybe you're insane. Maybe you're dead. Maybe you're in hell.
I'm definitely in health. I have to keep listening to you. Oh, I want to read all this Psycorp. Election tangle? Did Psycorp violate its charter by endorsing vice president?
I thought you might have seen him.
No, sorry.
I'm going to stop that in editing and read all those.
Lieutenant Commander Ivanova hasn't seen him since last night.
Commander.
So did they take him and like strap him into that chair?
See you later.
I think she's there to protect him.
Then you're saying all of this is a simulation, not real.
What is real, Commander? Commander, there you are. I've been looking all over the place for you.
Garibaldi?
No!
Commander.
There you are.
Commander. How's it going, Commander?
We can kill him as many times as we like.
We?
But I'm real, Commander. And you're real. And the pain for you is also real.
Okay. What the?
Commander.
What is your point? Yeah, Mike, get in there, man. Something's up. Do some of that detective shit. This is communicator.
Cutting power 50%.
What do they want?
My associate is watching over your body while I'm in here with you. He's making sure nothing unfortunate happens to it until we get what we came for.
And that is?
Why are you doing this?
To find the truth.
Cool shot.
The final and decisive battle of the Earth-Minbari War. For 24 hours, you are out of touch with Earth Force defense.
My ship was damaged. I blacked out.
It's been a long time, Commander. But we're finally going to get to the truth. Even if it kills you.
Okay.
You might also want to send a couple of maintenance bots outside the station on close proximity scan. Go over every inch of the hull.
What should they look for?
A body. If someone shoved it outside, the station's gravity won't let it get far.
Jeez.
Your name is Jeffrey David Sinclair, rank?
David.
A career officer, like your father and his father and his father.
I don't have to tell you a thing, and I'm betting you don't have a lot of time. Security's probably turning this place upside down looking for me.
Assuming you're still on Babylon 5, you don't have to tell me anything. What about someone else?
What?
Mitchell?
It's a guy from the craft, I think.
Alpha leader, you have a...
Yeah.
It's a trap, Mitchell! I've got a clear shot. I can take him. I can take him. Break off! I'm hit! Ejecting!
Did he get out or did it...
Why did you betray us?
What?
Mitchell's dead.
KIA.
We fought beside you on the line. We swore we would all go down together.
Listen, Bill, there's no way they would say this. He was fighting with them.
I tried.
Tried to do what, Commander?
Afterburners on my mark. Mark!
He was going to take the ship out. Yeah, he was on a collision course. He was going to do a suicide run. And that's when something passes in front of him.
I don't remember. I blacked out.
Something passed in front of his craft is what he said in the gathering.
You don't want to remember the 24 hours in which you betrayed your own race. The day you became a traitor. The day you sold out.
Well, well. Looks like the pain is real for both of us.
You got those, buddy.
I just heard the news, Lieutenant Commander.
She's there to protect him.
If the commander is missing...
We're doing everything we can, Ambassador.
Have you tried a telepath, Talia Winters?
She's a level P5, requires close proximity or physical contact.
She was a P5.
They're aware the commander is missing and they've launched a full search.
How long until they hit this sector?
3, maybe 4 hours.
He was right, not much time.
I wonder if these guys are official.
I can increase the dosage of metazine another 10%, but he might start hallucinating.
Do it. Then bring up the cyber field 30% and put me back inside.
It could shatter his mind or kill him.
Then he dies.
Okay. That is an interesting approach. So they either get the information or he dies, and death is not a big problem.
Now, yeah, but this wasn't here 24 hours ago. And check this list of payments. There's $5 grand left in his account after he paid off lots of debts. Original deposit was
15.
Where's a grunt like Benson get 15 grand?
Pull him in. Good catch, though.
Find Benson, bring him here. I want to ask him some questions.
Right.
I like Garibaldi quite a bit. He's doesn't have like Batman levels of insight with his detective stuff, but he's tough. He's like a beat cop. I like it.
What happened on the line? Push, Commander. Remember?
I mean, he legitimately can't remember. What's that symbol on the staff? Is there 6? I think we're at 7, 8, 10 total.
What are you doing here?
9 or 10 total. I can't.
What do you want? What do you want?
Just to do that.
The whole station's looking for him. They think I had something to do with the command.
I don't.
So thanks for coming right here.
The hell was that? What have you got going on in here anyway?
Benson, you're gonna die now, buddy.
Terminate.
Just had to gamble. That's cool. Cool cut.
You saw something, didn't you? Just before you blacked out. I almost saw it with you.
But he didn't.
What are you hiding?
I'm not hiding anything.
Can't remember. You're forcing it.
This is where you hide, behind duty and responsibility and obligation.
Things you'd never understand.
Wrong.
Nice.
If I fail, more will come after me until the job is finished. But now it's time, Commander. We're going to find out what else you're hiding.
The lighting, they're doing a lot of theatrical lighting in this one. Really, really good. Doing like the capture pools of light, being able to let the cameras drink from the dark. You can just walk in and disappear. Good shit.
It's Benson, all right. Whoever killed him couldn't have carried the body very far without being noticed. Tell the search teams to concentrate on Red Sector.
Look for, is there any like, when the airlocks open?
And something passed in front of my eyes. I blacked out. The next thing I know, it's 24 hours later and the war...
The war was over! The Minbari had surrendered on the eve of their victory.
And surrendered.
Your ship was off the screens for 24 hours. You didn't just black out.
The ship was gone.
The Minbari didn't win at the line, they surrendered.
Precisely my point! They surrendered! Why? Why risk their lives in a frontal attack when they could attack us from within?
What?
Alien civilization, alien migration, aliens buying up real estate by the square mile, alien funding of Babylon 5.
Mm-hmm. Home guard.
Inch by inch!
What does that have to do with me?
He's working for Santiago if the president is...
Be their eyes, their ears, their voice. You agreed.
This guy's going to keep pushing. He's going to see what Sinclair saw, and it's going to drive him nuts or kill him.
I never betrayed Earth.
How can you be sure? You just said you don't remember.
Because he never would.
You talk about Mitchell and the rest, but you didn't know them. They were my friends.
The way you talk, you weren't fighting.
For years afterwards, whenever I saw them in Barre, I had to fight the urge to strangle them with my bare hands. I could see was Mitchell and the rest. Dying.
Nice, Jeff.
I didn't just see my death. I saw the death of the whole damn human race.
Then why did they surrender?
I don't know.
Ask them.
Except
what?
There is a hole in your mind.
That was from The Gathering. I'm so glad you guys have me watch it. Just the perfect time they start referring back to it.
What happened at the Battle of the Line? Don't you want to know, just for yourself?
He's going to push, and he's going to see it. This night guy is going to push it. It's going to drive him batty.
Alpha 7, Alpha Leader, I'm hit.
Here we go.
Pull out.
Here we go.
Hold the line. No one gets through, no matter what.
Understood.
It looked like Mitchell ejected, though.
Ejecting.
It looked like he ejected, right? Never mind. Jeez, oh Pete's. I mean, they had no chance. If this was the attrition rate.
Target main cruiser set for full velocity ram. Afterburners on my mark. Mark.
Now what? Now what? Something passes in front. Tractor beam. Something hit it and like an ion looked like it, like an EMP. Is this the Grey Council? I mean, now that I can see the color of these robes. Triangle. Crystal triangle. Is Delin here?
I know you.
He is breaking out. Oh my God. Did he just jam that into that?
When Barry broken through, I have to report. Get back to my ship.
Oh, he has no idea where he is. God, Jeff's mind is so shattered.
Sorry, right? Didn't mean it.
He sees everybody in the robes. God, was that Delin? I know you. I know you, he says. This is absolutely my type of show. Give me a mystery. Come on now. Amazing. I don't know if he jammed something like one of the piece of the apparatus into that guy.
Commander. Commander.
Oh God, don't shoot her.
Security to CNC. I found the commander. I'm following him.
You son of a bitch, dude.
Red 6, level 2.
I'm on it.
Mike, get down there. Bring that big effing gun you had last time.
Commander Sinclair, please report in. Time to get over.
This is going to be interesting. He sees her and it's like, you. Oh. Whoa. This guy's just like opening fire. Nice shot, Mike. Nice shot.
In his present state, he may even be considered dangerous.
Yeah, no shit. Thanks, Doc.
Yeah, thanks. I kind of got that impression.
Right.
Ambassador, stay back.
No, she knows what she's doing. They were right about you, she said.
Commander.
Was that in Soul Hunter?
You're safe.
We were right about you.
Stop. I know.
I know you.
I know you.
I knew it.
Ambassador Delenn.
No. I know you. I know you.
Satai.
Welcome home.
Jakar. Everyone on this station, they are not what they say they are.
How long have I been out?
About a day.
About a day.
He's being transferred to a shuttle headed for home. Earth Central exercised jurisdiction. They want him back on Earth for trial.
Bullshit.
They say he's part of an organization back home that's trying to prove collusion between Earth officials and the Minbari. There's even a rumor it's a covert operation run from somewhere inside the government.
Santiago.
When you broke out of the Cybernet, you set up a neural feedback charge that fried most of his memory.
As long as he doesn't know. That's information that needs to, if it's at least compromised.
You couldn't pull off something this big without help. Who sent you? Who are you working for?
I don't remember anything.
We need to tell you down here now.
Commander Sinclair. There's something in my head. Maybe you're still inside. Maybe we're both still inside.
I love this shit. I absolutely love this shit. I absolutely love this shit.
Commander, you're better.
Yes. I wanted to thank you for your help.
What's her move? What's her play?
Strange that seeing you was the only thing that could snap me out of it.
Strange.
Commander,
do you
out
remember
of
anything?
curiosity, do you remember anything from your experience?
No, I don't.
No. Sorry. Not a thing.
Now, did he see that and we're meant to realize that he did? Remember? She's going to be like, he's lying.
He must never know what happened. If he should find out, he must be killed. Do you understand, Delenn?
Yes.
What are you looking at? Is it that is going to be like, oh, I thought I was going to look over and see that fucking crystal triangle.
I remember. I was taken inside a Minbari cruiser. Interrogated.
Do you remember her? You remember her there.
The Grey Council.
Come on.
Before they surrendered, they must have blanked my memory.
Why?
And Delenn, what was she doing there?
Satai, Grey Council.
I have to find out.
I am so oh, I love when they do that. I love when they go black and you still hear the audio. Shit, I love that. That's one of my favorite little tricks that they do. One of the little unique things about Babylon 5, having that like go to fade to black and then still hear the audio. Oh, it's so good. All right, everybody, we just finished watching Babylon 5 Season 1, Episode 8, and the sky full of stars. And the only thing left to do is talk about it. All right, everybody, we just finished watching Babylon 5, Season 1, Episode 8, and the sky full of stars. Okay, thank God. Thank God I watched The Gathering literally right before watching this episode. That was the last thing I've watched of Babylon 5 was The Gathering. I didn't watch it the same day, but thank goodness, because to my knowledge, there hasn't been anything other than, I know that there was a mention of the original the Gathering doctor, Ben Kyle, leaving, and there was mention of him, like our doc now, Dr. Franklin, kind of passed him at the IO way station or something like that. I think they said that in Soul Hunter. I think that's what they said when whatever the one was where Franklin shows up. But this is the first one where we actually had like a vision from back with Delen's like former actor playing. There's a hole in your mind. And then we had, of course, the events that from the line, the Battle of the Line, where we had Sinclair disappear. Okay, so let's go over everything that we have so far. By the way, friends, I've said this during the reaction. If you've watched my Expanse, I love shit like this. When you start giving me like a mystery and you start serialized television where you're building off of that mystery and you're doing so very successfully, and you're not trying to like shoehorn in characters that don't need to be there. We don't have Londo, Jakar in this one. It's like you're sticking with the people that tell the story and advance the story or flesh out the story and not just making sure that you get everybody lines. You know what I mean? And sometimes with bigger ensembles, that's sort of what you do. And but this is great. This was so good. So let's set up what we have here right now. At the Battle of the Line, we saw the events as they unfolded, and then the retelling of those events in the Gathering. Sinclair basically, as we've just saw, was in the battle. Everything went south. He lost his stabilizer. He was going on a ramp. He thought, just like he said, if I'm going out, I'm taking a few of you assholes with me. He went on a suicide run. He was going to kamikaze crash into it, hopefully take out a cruiser or damage it or sunder it or something. But again, in the Gathering, he says that something passed before his craft and then he was out. And the next thing he knew, it was 24 hours later and he was adrift. I believe that's what he said. He didn't land or crash or anything like that. His ship was, completely inoperative and he was adrift. But now we get to find out that not only was he, awake for these 24 hours, he was taken aboard one of the Minbari craft. Inside that craft, if this is to be believed, now I'm taking this with a grain of salt because when one of the two guys that were identified in the credits, not their own names, as Night 1 and Night 2, when they said to one another, hey, listen, it looks like if I give this guy more psychotropic drugs or whatever it is, he could start to hallucinate, and then if I up it by 30 or 10 and whatever the percentages were, so it's bad, he could start to see things. Now, with that being said, that could easily be an explanation in the future if you wanted to be like, no, that vision wasn't quite right. You know what I mean? Maybe the drugs were making you kind of like overlap certain elements that weren't really part of it. So again, put a pin in this scene because we can't, Sinclair's a bit of an unreliable narrator in this moment. This could be 100% true. However, we have to just at least consider the fact that some things might be altered. The entire thing might be altered, but maybe some things are altered because of those drugs they introduced. Now, again, would those extend into his subconscious or the psychological realm where he was? I don't know, but I'm just throwing that out there. So if the events are to be believed that we saw, he was taken aboard. He was, in his words, tortured, though we didn't really see too much of that. He was, except for the Grey Council member with the staff who seemed to hit him, and that did something to him. A very odd-looking projection, too, almost like a wavy, almost like kind of like phasing type of beam that hit him, like an invisible, like almost like you saw it more than, you could feel the movement more than actually see it. You know what I mean? Something like that. But I think that, if that's the case and he was in there being tortured, has to be the Grey Council. I mean, Jesus, he expressed it. When I didn't realize at first the hooded figures were in gray. And as soon as we went to that second one with the better lighting, I was like, okay, well, this is obviously the Grey Council, named as Satai, which is like how did they explain the Satai? And I think that was in Soul Hunter too, because the Soul Hunter referred to Delenn as that. It's like a ruling class with, like a lot of power. And if I'm remembering correctly, the Soul Hunter was like, what are you doing here pretending to be an ambassador? I got that information from somewhere, whether it was The Gathering or Soul Hunter. And, in that episode of Soul Hunter, when she's still kind of out of it, and she looks up at Sinclair, she says, we were right about you. And then they said, oh, she's kind of out of it. And Sinclair goes, I'll bet you $1,000. I think he said, like, I bet you $1,000. She never finishes that thought, like he knew that she had said something she probably wouldn't have if she had been more in her faculties. So we were right about you, the Grey Council. There was torture. We know that immediately after this meeting, they surrender to Earth, even though they had us dead bang. It wasn't an armistice. It wasn't a truce. It wasn't a treat like a ceasefire. It was they surrendered to us, which makes no sense. So now we got to begin the speculation. What occurred? What is special about Sinclair? Did they do something to Sinclair? Did they realize Sinclair was something special? Did they awaken something special in Sinclair? You know what I mean? Like, here's the two things. We can't speculate on what was done because we just have too little information, but we can speculate on how it was done. And so regardless of what this is, this whatever this is special about Sinclair is, two things could only have occurred. I mean, broad-based two things could only have occurred. With that, it could be one, they brought him aboard, tortured him, realized he was special, and released him, and we're like, we need to keep an eye on him. That's something that could have happened. That's the how of it could have happened. The other one is they realize that they did something to Sinclair, and now they have to watch him, so they put Delenn on station with him as an ambassador, but really a member of the Grey Council. So she seemed to, now whenever Delenn heard that he was taken, she seemed to be very upset about that. Now, it could be twofold upset. It could be upset, I've lost my target, upset he's too important. Again, you're not sure if she has, because I mean, they said, hey, if he ever finds out, we've got to kill him. That guy at the end, which I can only assume is like their telepath with like the eyes and everything. We know that all the races have telepaths with the exception of the Narn. Jakar said that, they don't have telepaths. So that's why he wanted to breed with Talia. She was understandably not down with that. Interesting shit. But there is so much going on here. Again, and I don't know if this will ever play into it. I mean, 99.9% sure that Bill Mitchell was killed, but when they made a point of showing that I'm going to eject, and you see the front of the craft go off. Now, again, we saw a helmet just seconds later. I'm assuming that's their way of saying if you had any doubts, Bill's really dead. I don't know. I pretty much have come to grips that he's dead, but if he popped back up, I wouldn't be super duper surprised because it sort of looked like he made it, like ejected a second before it blew up, whatever. Another couple things that we had going in there, if that is in fact the Grey Council, then we know a little bit of the kind of the makeup of the Grey Council. If that was the entire Grey Council, it was 9 or 10 figures. I'm going to count them all whenever I go back through editing. And one of them, presumably the leader, had a staff, with a kind of like a teardrop blade point on the end of it. Interesting stuff. So we have to pay very close attention. So at the very least, the takeaway from this episode is this: take away all the motivations, take away all of the rationale, reasoning, details of the scenario, take all of that out of the loop. The one thing we can kind of boil this episode down to, what is a fact that we can take away from this episode? That Sinclair, no matter what it is very important to the Minbari. Whether that's for something he knows, something he could reveal, it doesn't matter what it is. He is very important to the Minbari, to the point where they're willing to put one of their own, one of the Grey Council, which, if all of these whispers of the Grey Council are to be believed, is an incredibly elite, powerful, prestigious group, that they are willing to put one of their members on station, like spend the capital of using one of their members to get on Babylon 5 and act as an ambassador. And again, Satai, one of these, ruling kind of people, so important that we're putting her on station to either protect, watch, monitor, all of the above Sinclair. So our boiled down thing that we can definitely take away as a hard and fast chisel it in stone truth, for whatever reason, Jeffrey David Sinclair is very, very important to the Minbari. Friends, Thank God for Babylon 5, because when The Expanse was over, I thought, oh, there goes my mystery sci-fi fix. Hold on a second, as Babylon 5 says, hold my 30-year-old beer. Friends, if you could do me a favor, hit that like button, smash that subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. It greatly helps out a small channel, and it allows me to alert you next time we go live. And of course, if there's anything that we do, Babylon 5 included, that you would like early or in its full-length format, the link to our Patreon is in the description. And if you're not a fan of Patreon, stick with us here on YouTube memberships and you'll get all of our episodes about a day early, plus any bonus episodes we come up with. But my dear friends, all that is then, and this is now, and now unfortunately, it's time to say goodbye from episode 8 of the first season of Babylon 5 and the sky full of stars. But as is our purview, we're the Greek chorus. We go wherever we want in this episode, and we are a vital import to the telling of this tale because we are the audience that shares this information with others and gleans and gains more fans for Babylon 5, just like this asshole was wrapped in. I was hooked into Babylon 5. But where should we say goodbye from? That's our reward for being the Greek chorus. We can say goodbye from any point in this episode. Well, friends, I could be cheeky, like I always say, we'll say goodbye from the events of the line and find out what really happened. Nah. What I say, friends, is we say goodbye from the walkway, right when Sinclair's in a moment of his mania, in his delusion. He has no idea where he is. And Delenn approaches. And he says, I know you. What I want us to do, friends, is we're in the shadows helping out Garibaldi. We're the security that rushed up to help. But we, for just a moment, capture a look on Delenn's face. What is it? Is it thankfulness? Is it trepidation? Is it relief? Or something else? Friends, only time will tell, and I hope this show takes its time. Until such time, my friends, Vulcan roll, and I'll see you.